Flashback.
I don't have the patience to spend the back half of my life trying to get a to respect me.
Hillary look like George Washington now. She didn't really get presidential looking, man.
Trump wife right there by his side. You can say whatever you want to say. Hillary Clinton right there with Bill, and Bill had God, didn't he?
Yeah. Michelle Obama's doing an arena tour. That's another thing going on. I'm going to say that again. Michelle Obama doing an arena tour. She's not
God. The Bush wife is right there. She ain't even got the suck. You can look at him and tell. You're like, just rub my back till I go to sleep. Where is the wife?
I'll tell you right now, say what you want about Republican presidents, but they got their first ladies in line. Dude, George W. was president for 8 years. 8 years. I don't even know his wife's name. Donald Trump's wife stands behind him like a giant meerkat. Like,
you were wrong. You were wrong for not being there. Crazy world, man. It's so obvious what's happening, man. It's so obvious what's happening. We get no respect at all, and we are the original man.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Michelle Obama got her podcast and said a nice thing about Barack Obama. Yeah, goddamn, Michelle, goddamn. Michelle got on their first episode complaining about being in the White House. But yeah.
And I'll say it to you too. Would you be attracted to a guy who's not financially sound when you meet him?
I married one.
Don't you like that alley-oop I just threw?
No, that was
in basketball. You just point. You don't even have to say. You just point and run down the court. And let me say one more thing before you give your answer. You have to admit, most of your sisterin, not just
women,
I'm talking about women in general, typically are not like you.
People think I'm being catty by saying this. It's like there were 10 years when I couldn't stand my husband.
And said a nice thing about Barack Obama, yeah.
When those kids were little, right?
Yeah.
Right, because you can be all great individually when you're just married. You got your life, he's got his. You come together. It's all ooh, good to see you. Bye. Take it easy. And then you have kids.
Not take it easy.
Take it easy. You're traveling. That's great. Good. I get to hang out and watch the TV I want to watch.
Right.
But the minute we had kids, it was like, where are you going? And how far? And you start measuring. It's like, how many diapers did you change?
Michelle Obama is getting candid about love and marriage. The former First Lady doesn't hold back during a December panel with Revolt TV. When talking about her relationship with her husband of 30 years, Michelle reveals things with Barack weren't always picture perfect.
But as much as we may want to share, discuss, or vent to our friends and family, it's important to remember that there are consequences to bad-mouthing your partner.
Oh, you're golfing? Yeah. Oh, you got time? Oh, you got time to golf? How you at the gym all the time?
Why you in my brain right now? I'm like golfing.
That's when all the measuring starts because you got this project. Yes. And guess what? Little kids, they're terrorists. They are. They have demands. Oh, they don't talk. Right. They're poor communicators. They cry all the time. They're irrational.
They're selfish.
They're needy. They're selfish. And you love them more than anything.
Oh.
And so you can't blame them.
No.
Right? Because look, they're cute and he's so cute. And look at him throwing his plate. That's so cute. So you turn that ire on each other. Right?
Yes. Mrs. Obama opens up about the early days before the White House when she and the former president were trying to balance family and their careers, reflecting that their responsibilities weren't always split 50-50.
Yes.
And for 10 years while we're trying to build our careers and, worrying about school and who's doing what and what, I was like, this isn't even.
And said a nice thing about Barack Obama, yeah.
And that's why today we're talking about 5 things that happens when you badmouth your partner. The first is that you open your relationship up to the opinions and judgment of other people.
Tucker Carlson interview with Megyn Kelly. He said that Michelle Obama hates her husband Barack and that it's people like her who are miserable in their personal lives that are a big part of what's wrong with modern society.
Because when you come up to others and you're telling them, hey, these are the things, these are the ways that this person is not as good, is not great, these are the things about them that I don't like, these are their negative qualities. You're essentially inviting someone to have an opinion, to share their thoughts and their judgment of that person and of course your relationship. Because
I don't like the word hate. It really offends me. I've never hated my husband. Pisses me off. Definitely. I want to give him a good dig sometimes. But no, I've never.
Really?
No.
So you don't agree with Michelle's comments at all then?
Well, it's that's her relationship with her husband. Every relationship is different.
Mm-hmm. Is she not sort of referring? I think what she's aiming at is to say that, you know, that he was on the rise, he was on the way to becoming president, and she felt that she was not getting a look in, and that she resented the dynamic of the marriage was in favour of him and not her.
Bill Clinton was president, his wife never shut up. I want to do healthcare. He huffed around on her so much, he's like, all right, whatever, just do it. And be brave and speak out. You know what? You're full of
polite savages.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Ladies, gentlemen, and polite savages, we are now about to embark on a journey sure to anger feminists and modern women alike. And let's just keep it a buck. Mrs. President, ex-Mrs. President, is kicking Barack's back in every chance she can get. It's almost like she had a hidden agenda, a grudge. That press tour, that podcast, making sure that you understand she was not a happy camper. As always, the only thing we can do is guarantee to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as we see it. So there's nothing else left to do but get on into it. Are you ready? Let's go.
It is hard to say no. It is hard to say no.
Say no to what?
Other races treat black men really different.
They do. They definitely.
Hold on. And here's my thing. I want to say this because it's very important I say this. Different doesn't mean better.
When problems occur inside your house, 9 times out of 10, unless there's some catastrophic occurrence, you need to keep them, in fact, inside your house. When you bring other people into your problems, you invite wolves, you invite predators, you invite folks who are not there for your best interest. These ladies sitting here talking to Michelle Obama, they are just using her for content. But Michelle Obama's using it for content. All of this is just for content. Me, in fact, I'm using it for content. But that still doesn't malign the absolute fact that what Chris Rock said all those years back was absolutely the truth. It's very hard for a man to ascend to presidency with our hue because the VP or the First Lady, if she is the same hue, could not play her position. And it turns out what Chris Rock was saying was the dang truth. You notice that none of the other first ladies had anything disparaging to say about their husband. They show up to events, they play their position, they play their role. They understand that this is a lifetime, yes, a lifetime obligation to be the first lady. You see, an ex-first lady is a very high status in the United States of America. What are you thinking? But of course, somehow, some way, it seems like Michelle Obama finds a way to tear down Barack's character every day.
Be hard for Barack Obama to be president because Barack Obama has a black wife. And I don't think a black woman can be first lady of the United States. Yeah, I said it. I don't believe a black woman can be first lady. You know why? Because a black woman cannot play the background of a relationship.
This mother don't miss. In the heat of battle, he don't miss. No. In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Don't get me wrong, a black woman could be president with no problem. First lady, too much shutting up in that job.
And after all of this time, doesn't she understand that it's absolutely a horrible thing for a man to be emasculated, a horrible thing for a man to be embarrassed, a horrible thing for you to talk bad about your man in front of other people, just like he should never talk bad about you in front of other people. But I want you to think of this. When have you heard Barack Obama say anything bad about Michelle? He gives Michelle her flowers. He throws Michelle nothing but compliments. Oh, isn't she fine? Oh, I got to do this and I got to do that better. It seems like Barack Obama is damn near on an apology tour for being president. And then what happens? Michelle jumps up on her podcast and starts taking a jab here, a jab there, a jab everywhere. Man, she has her defense up and she's sniping, looking like Floyd Mayweather in his prime. She's picking her shots, taking them, and then walking away with a smirk on her face like, did I do that? With that Steve Urkel smirk, absolutely, absolutely knowing exactly what she's doing. And the question is this, ladies. All of these ladies are complaining about, oh, men don't want to date. Men aren't showing up at singles event. Well, what's the incentive? If the president of the United States can't get some dang public respect, if the president of the United States can't get somebody to have his back, what the hell do you think we're thinking? The average man out there would rather go at it alone or go grab their passport and find somebody who actually knows how to play their position. And I want you to think about this. Out of all her public appearances, her podcast, her own show where she controls everything, have you ever heard a full-throated, straight up and down complimentary of the man that she's married, giving him the respect that he deserves as a man who's accomplished what very few men, only in the 40s, have accomplished in the world? She married a one of one, but she's walking around like she could find him on any other street corner. Like Barack is not Barack. The politics are irrelevant. The achievement, no matter what your position is paramount. Like she didn't marry Himothy. What the heck is going on here? And this is why we look at her with a side eye. And the absolute funny part of the entire situation is that if anybody said this around him, he would do what every real man would do. He would look that person talking dead in his eyes, even though that person was speaking the truth. And he would say, hey, that's between me and my wife, and I'll handle it, and it's my due. So keep your mouth shut and watch your mouth when you're talking to my wife, because that's where respect is due. Now, ain't it a shame that she is not willing to do the same for the man that she chose, because she stays kicking that man's back in. Damn.
I chose the truth with Barack.
Yes.
And so as a result, I knew he didn't mean the thing about marriage, but his proposal, which I didn't know was coming, goaded me into this argument about marriage.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't want nobody else to get the broad, so they walk down the aisle with it. That's all marriage is. When you don't want nobody else to, you'll be like, you know what? That's what marriage is. When you don't want nobody else to smash a woman, you'll be like, okay, come on.
Oh, wow.
That's all marriage is.
Damn.
It lasts a few years. After a while, you be like, I should have let them motherfuckers have you.
You know, you're also very candid about relationships. Took off on this. Mm-hmm. You know, there were years where you just didn't like him. Many spouses in this room will say, you know, there's sometimes I don't like him. I don't like her.
Yeah, so what was the controversy?
Ain't said a nice thing about Barack Obama yet.
She goes on to say that it's things like Barack Obama going away to do a book tour for 2 weeks, and he's saying, I'm away working, when he's out having dinners and schmoozing, and she's stuck at home with the kids and having to do her own job and then do the job of a parent.
Can you imagine telling your black wife that you president? Honey, I'm president. No, we president. And I want my girlfriends in the cabinet. I want Kiki to be Secretary of Defense. No, you can't have no black first lady. That's too much work for the Secret Service. Listen, we can't let her through, sir. We can't let her through. She's gonna kill you.
Thank you for watching the TIP Network. Follow us on all social media outlets and ask yourself one burning question. Can you handle the tip? Boom, we're out.
We found true happiness.